Yay! Here we are.
Woo!
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It has been a time.
Indeed.
It's been a week, and I just realized I don't have my notebook, but I do have my gin, so like it tells me where my priorities are at, right?
I was just going to
Yeah.
say, that pretty much
That's all I
summarizes everything we need to know about this session right there.
Priorities are correct.
My priorities are absolutely perfect.
Thank you,
I feel
KJ,
great.
for the subscription. It's kind.
Thank you, KJ.
Thank you.
So yeah. So for those of you not paying attention to the news in Canada, we are now under a state of national emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did
Thanks,
not know
Ottawa.
that.
Yeah. So my house game last night got canceled because one of the players is my age and he's ex-military as well, and everybody else who's in the group is, my son's age, and we're going, what the hell is going on? Is this the end of the world? Okay, hang on. Hang on, just put the dice down. I guess we're doing a history lesson and we're spending the evening listening to you folks deal with existential dread.
I feel like I've gone past existential dread. I really, it's great. Like what's existence? Who cares? I don't have time to worry about existence. That's such a privilege. What is this?
Passed through existential dread and ended up at existential numb.
Ended up at existential gin.
That needs to be a brand name.
Existential gin.
A gin brand or a vodka brand called Existential Relief.
And then you have your existential tonic. I need a whole brand name. It's trademarked. You can't take it. It's mine. I said it
That's how
live on
copyright law
stream.
works, as far as I understand.
That's how copyright law works, and I don't care what happens to it after this. Just say I said it first or something. I don't know. I'm not going to ask how anyone is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because if I ask a question, people seem to think I'm going to answer it. I'm not going to do that. Does anyone like pineapple?
I love pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah, pineapple's fantastic over there.
See, there's always one. I love pineapple, just not on pizza. That's it. That's my only rule. On everything. Funnily enough, I'll have pineapple in pretty much anything else. I will not have it on pizza, and I will not eat it if it's in sweet and sour or anything. It can be there because the taste is good. The texture doesn't work.
Yeah, I eat pineapple almost every day actually, and cause I get those little tubs, that are just pineapple in juice. Yeah. Because I find them like a nice sweet snack that replaces candy. And I used to eat a lot of candy. I mean, I still do eat too much candy, but it's better now because I eat pineapple more often. Also eat it on pizza, but I don't eat pizza very often. So
it's for the best.
Nope. My two problems with pizza with pineapple generally speaking is the taste and the texture. So
that's most things to do with pineapple.
Your issue is that it's a food.
For example, orange. I absolutely adore the taste of orange, but I cannot deal with the texture of orange. So dehydrated oranges I can eat, but fresh orange I can't.
Dehydrated orange?
Yes.
Yeah, dried
candy. Basically, it winds up candy.
Candy. So dehydrated. So candied orange. Right. I see.
Yeah.
Candied orange would be different, wouldn't it? Candied orange and dehydrated orange would be similar,
They're
but
two different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Candied. Yes. But my point is that the pop squish textures because of just cannot. So orange is one of the worst offenders of the lot for that for me. So yeah. But I adore the absolute taste. I will shank someone over a bottle of Grand Marnier depending on my mood. So Origin.
We're live. Don't say it live. There's live. There's people. You've got a live recording of that now.
Yeah. This is a well-known concern if you hang out with me, so you know.
Okay.
So finger limes are not your thing, then?
No.
The hell is a finger lime?
It's like it's a citrus.
Finger shaped.
Well, it's like the little. They're basically just like they take the little balls of that citrus is and takes it to like the extreme.
I see.
So they.
She says not seeing it all.
I don't see it all, but I'm willing to accept it. Which I'm not willing to do for a whole load of things, but I'll accept it for this one. Because I'm fairly sure I've seen one before. But I don't really want to go down that route because it'll distract me far too much. Tell us what you do, Jamie. What's your thing?
I'm Jamie. Oh yeah, I eat a lot of pineapple, and pineapple's also really good for your throat, which is good because I am a voice actor and director, and you can hear more about that on my Twitter at Muffin Manifesto or on my website Jamie
doesn't need to be paid because there's some dosh. Anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Jamie-Colette.com is my website, and that's where I do most of the voice acting thing.
The voice thing.
Yeah.
You invest in the new crypto on that website, Jamie Dosh.
Yeah, that's right. Please, no.
No, well, I'm not even going there, Sam. What do you do? As long as it's not crypto, tell us about it.
No,
if it's crypto, I'm kicking you out. I just want you to know that now.
Someone can announce my exit from Lost World Archives? No.
Now, right now, literally now, I'd just be like, and click.
Goodbye. just decide in this moment. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm not into crypto, as my previous jokes may have indicated. Statements made in humor do not reflect the... Anyway. I'm also a voice actor and a performer. You can also find me on Twitter at @the_RealSannyP. I think that's the extent of the things that I'm spruiking at the moment.
Michelle.
All right then. I'm Ch5. I'm a author, game designer, GM, many things. Lots of stuff. I do it. And yeah, right now, get to run this fantastic group of folks. What was the line we keep using? 4 Australian voice actors and a Canadian novelist walk into a plot line. I delight in that. Fantastic group. And I also usually Sunday mornings have all kinds of ideas about better ways to run games and possibly cause these people some fantastic more trauma. I mean, good times.
He makes it hurt so good.
Go out.
Speaking of that existential dread stuff, I mean, Shawnee.
I am existentially numb. I'm also very tired, and I'm currently feels like auditioning for every pilot and pilot season that exists. I don't even know at this point, but also not all pilots, just lots, while trying to finish a thesis, and also working on 2 games. When I say it like that, I'm tired. You can find me on Chantel B on Twitter. Often not saying that I'm tired, but often saying, hey, I'm doing too much. And I'm starting to think that casting directors and people looking for people look at that and go, more than. So that is me.
They haven't tapped out yet. Load them up.
Basically,
better know how to say no. You can take advantage of that.
Well, that's kind of it. I'm learning to say no.
Can-do attitude we like around here.
There's so much, and one me. So I've kind of hired my sister to be my assistant because it's so much. It's just a lot, and I can't be in charge of that. It's irresponsible. So
when your life is so busy, you have to hire someone. You have to hire an administrative assistant to run your life for you.
It's just irresponsible. The amount of things that I am trying to keep track of, no, that's absurd. So I'll just hand it to her. Let's play a game so I don't have to think about my existential numbness, the amount of things I'm doing, and the fact that I haven't slept properly in a week, 2 weeks, month, year. Hey, we have returned.
All right then. Oh. When last we left our heroes, my soul, things you remember about recent events, please.
Oh, well, Cedric Edgewater arrived with a bunch as a part of a diplomatic envoy that apparently are meeting here in the city. But a bunch of his people have been here prior to that, clearly looking for, Spider. Now, last time he was really only focused on Chevalier, so we don't know if that's still the case, but hasn't given indication that that particular attitude has changed. I got to talk with some of the full 60 elders and hear about some of their mythology, which interestingly ties into my own. I guess.
Uh-huh. My, what a coincidence.
A lot of timeline overlap. And some interesting terminology that also overlaps. So could be that the way that Hio and I remember the incident that created this has always been spotty at the best of times, and it might just be not at all what we thought, which is neat, I guess. Good to learn new things.
Uh-huh. All
right. There was also Alexandre's grandmother is here.
Mm-hmm.
And so the highly skilled and potentially scary person who was looking for us is a highly skilled and interesting person. But probably not here to kill us. Definitely not here to kill myself or Jasper. So I don't think she's here to kill Alexandre. No, probably not. And then Genevieve walked in. So that might as well have happened today. That sounds like a way to cap off the day.
All right.
Everyone's a little tense now, so let's make it worse, I guess. Okay.
Sure.
If I understand correctly, when shit hits the fan, the solution is to add more shit until you clog the fan. Is that not... Wait. No, that sounds terrible now I say it out loud. Oh no.
Spider, what's your opinion of fans these days?
While they should all adore me, they should also be kept at a distance.
Reasonable.
Parasocial relationships are a blight of the modern age.
Agreed. I was horrified to find out what Stan stood for.
Oh, I have no idea, to be honest.
Stalker fan.
Oh.
Let's endorse that behavior by making it a pop culture term. Excellent. What do you...
I'd just like to interrupt and say the word fan comes from fanatic, which is hardly better. So that's all I had to say on that topic.
A fanatic is I agree with you. Fanatic is not a great appellation, but a stalker fanatic is just that little ratchet that makes you lock the doors, right?
So he's a fanatic. So I'ma just keep my doors locked anyway. I'm a latchkey kid. So that makes sense. Anyway, as you were.
It comes from that song, the Eminem song was like what popularized it, right?
Stan.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what that's about.
The stalker in the song is Stan.
Yeah.
So I've heard that connection as well, but I don't.
Interesting, yeah.
But like it makes sense that it would. Yep. Anyway.
So, yeah. So, Spider, what do you think, and what are your opinions of recent events? How about that?
Well, I was actually fairly happy to learn that Alexandria's grandmère was in the city because she's a lot less threatening than another knife-wielding maniac.
As a general statement.
As a general statement, yeah.
At least my grandmother.
At least for me, I think. I mean,
of the list of knife-wielding maniacs that Spider is aware of, Elena is probably one of the most reasonable to deal with.
Yeah. Wasn't as big a fan of Carves McGee walking into our current place of residence. That was less ideal. But Alexandria seems to have buddied up with her. Don't think I need to be afraid of that, but that's all right. I assume it's a ploy.
A cunning ploy, no doubt.
And we all know that the one thing Alexandria is really good at is lying.
Master of or mistress of deception, absolutely.
That's our Alexandria. Yeah. I really wish that my project with the troll diplomat was already done for this, but I will have to wait another week or so, I believe, for that particular joy. So I guess things are just going to come to a point at some point.
Potentially, literally.
Is there any other way?
Alexandria.
Yes.
How are you doing? How are things feeling? What do you think of all of this?
My carnivorous plant is carnivorous and I think smarter than me. My grandmother is slowly making her way through the underworld of the city to find me, and has found me. And La Chanson says she's going to hurt me, so that's not good. And it's kind of a family reunion because Spider's dad is here and also looking for us. And Genevieve was here too. So, you know, I could say everything is falling to shit. But I feel like that would be an understatement, and I don't know what's worse than that, so I can't.
Interesting. Okay. All right then. So, as I recall, yes, essentially we closed on Alexandre strolling directly up to Genevieve and engaging in polite conversation. There were not one, not two, not three, but 6 of the Oni ninja assassin, whatever they are, that you folks had first encountered back in Glitter Delta Cove when one of them had dropped what you spiders surmise is essentially a teleport bomb, which allowed the initial attack of the Werkin to arrive. And so there's, like I said, there's 6 of them hanging out over by the fire, by the big fireplace right now, warming their hands.
Why would that be significant? There's not going to be any fighting.
Exactly. And Spider, because there isn't going to be any fighting, has used the thieves' can't we are fucked symbol, which means that everyone in the bar has broadly interpreted this as shoot out at the OK Corral, and has got their hands under the table on their preferred method of mass destruction, waiting for something to go horribly wrong. I think it's not lost on my soul that is under these exact circumstances that things are now statistically likely to go horribly wrong. Have I missed anything?
I would never be so dramatic as to say we're fucked. I only made the symbol for this is trouble.
Oh, fair enough. Yes. Not good, I believe your exact phrase was. So yes, but given your reputation so far throughout the town, and Gale and Rain's opinion of your performance thus far, you saying "oopsie" is sort of got everyone on edge.
Again, not
kind of like working with a nuclear chemist who says "oopsie," right?
This is what you get for trying to make people believe that you're hyper competent. When things are concerning for you.
Exactly.
This is gross mischaracterization. I am not concerned.
I'll never call you hyper competent again.
Yeah. Listen.
I will warn everyone in advance. I'm going to wind up going to do Genevieve's voice again. I understand that makes some people feel really creeped out, but you've been warned. So, Alexandre, you are standing. As I recall, the other thing that was remarkable about Genevieve was that she wasn't dressed the way you usually see her, which is the quote Cavs McGee outfit. Instead, she's dressed in a very conservative style, almost entirely covered, not showing off anything of her, if you will, other than the eyes and the smile, because she's dressed entirely in the formal attire of a noblewoman of the Empire of the Burning Lash. The height of fashion, in point of fact, for the Empire currently. And yeah, so that, and Alexandria, of course, had asked where she'd come from lately, and her reply was something completely disingenuous, like, from down south, but from the direction of from the Deliverance of the Dawn, right? Like, yeah, sure, you're going to be hanging out in the Deliverance of the Dawn. No, we don't believe you either. So, yeah. Before we plunge into the gentle and well-intended conversation between Alexandria and Genevieve, what's my soul up to currently?
I mean, we were just having...
We were all sitting... You were sitting over the VIP section
we were having a meal.
The news of the day, yes.
When this... So... We're at the sort of like the high table at the back. Where was Genevieve?
Oh, she was over by... She had come in. You have the central area of the bar, which is where you order food and that sort of thing. And that's also where, if you're looking for a room, you would go and chat with one of them.
Yeah.
And Spider, of course, literally went the eek moment, and that's so Gale and Rain went over specifically to deal with whoever this person was personally. In case this turned out to be, Switch not overreacting about something. So at that point, yeah. So now Alexandria has gotten up and gone over to where Gale, Rain, and Genevieve are all standing.
I might take a moment, like from where I am, just to try and sort of ascertain if there's, because obviously she's got like the obvious guards in there,
yes,
in their Oni masks, but try and sort of get a sense of what she might have that's less obvious.
Sure.
So sort of doing a, filtering through various magically enhanced sensor types, essentially trying to just get a feel for what if anything she's up to beyond the obvious.
Yeah. And what attribute are you rolling for that?
I'm trying to think if there's like a specific boon, but it's probably like alternating through a bunch of them, but I feel like they're all either going to be prescience or they're potentially all probably prescience. Yeah, it's probably prescience in the end of the day.
Okay, but let's. And do you have a knowledge, skill, and prescience by chance?
What now?
Do you have knowledge, skill, and prescience by chance?
I'm not quite hearing what you're saying. The word before skill.
Yeah. The knowledge skill for prescience.
Oh.
It's the one that gives you a minimum 16 and
No, I don't have that. Okay. I have got a roll of at least 30.
Okay, that's bad.
To be more precise, I have a roll of 38.
38. Yeah, okay, that's ridiculous.
D10s go boom.
D10s do indeed go boom. So you're going to get to see the world as it really ought not to be seen. Which is... It's going to... Have you seen any of the pretty pictures that taken by the Hubble telescope?
Not recently.
Yes, but you are familiar with them, right? The beautiful pictures of nebula and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What they do is those are not the colors that the telescope sees. They're colors that are added on by knowing what the colors look like to the telescope, for lack of a better way of putting it. So it's actually a touch-up, if you will, of what reality actually has shown the telescope. And that's the effect you're getting. Most of the people in the room are going to turn this drab and uninteresting gray color. Alexandria radiates music. There are little notes dancing in gold around her. Spider, every once in a while, one of the notes does a triplet backflip, if you will, and wanders into orbit around Spider and then evaporates, and then another one replaces it. And Gale and Rain, there are pieces of them that don't exist. Is the best way of explaining what you're seeing. So Gale is one entire arm is missing. Rain, one entire leg is missing. One of Gale's eyes is missing. Like, just absent in the picture. There are various individuals around the bar who have points of light on them, which you are able, because you know roughly what everyone in your group is carrying, to identify as magic items. There's an awful lot of people with magic knives in this bar right now. Then there's the guys warming their hands over by the fire. They're not human. They're demons. You're not seeing, for lack of a better way of putting it, it's not a mask. There's 6 of them standing over there. And you're going to get, the best way of explaining it is, these camera shots where someone's wandering around with their with their camera phone talking, and it jiggles and it shakes, and they trip, the phone goes everywhere, and suddenly you're looking at the dog, looking at the phone because they tripped the person with the camera. Well, you get that sort of sensation. It's just that you wind up going through a wall and wind up outside, because prescience works that way. And you're looking at the horse, the hounds, and the houndsmen who are waiting outside wearing the same imperial livery that Ch5 is wearing. None of them are real. The houndsman is a demon, the horse is a demon, and the hounds are werewolves. All under illusion. You're also very aware of the fact there's a very big cat, one of the Lanogiianes, on the roof across the way, watching them, casually, apparently not paying attention to the demons, but looking in a direction that you roughly are going to associate with the window that Alexandria stays in. Male Lanogiiane, big boy.
Cool. It's like roughly what I sort of expected, but it's still not great to hear it out loud.
Oh, damn, I was right. Now what do I do?
Is Jasper still next to me?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't moved from the table.
Yeah, sort of just like pulls at the sleeve slightly and is like, all of her people are demons.
Uh-huh.
Including the ones outside, except for the ones that are werekin.
Any other than the 6 that walked in with her, is there anyone else hiding?
hiding in that they're under an illusion, not hiding, as far as I can tell, in the conventional sense.
Sorry, maybe my question was unclear. Are any of the people in here her people that we didn't know about?
Not that I can tell.
That's good at least. Yeah, I guess is there a thieves' can't hand symbol for literal demons? Probably not.
Probably one where it's like,
this sound like the sort of thing that come up in casual conversation about Grand Theft Auto.
Surely there's one for like, there's probably like one that like builds off the this situation is trouble to this situation is trouble we cannot and should not engage with.
I don't know about
or
that.
Even get out, get the fuck out, run fast, run hard, get the
This is
fuck
trouble.
out.
Go, fuck.
Get
No.
out. Everyone out very slowly and quietly.
That might be your read on the situation.
Okay, fine. How
I don't know
about
if you remember how the fight with one demon went.
There were only
you jumped
4
off
of
a
us
building
then.
at the end, so I'm just saying.
I was very drunk.
Yeah. Why'd you get really drunk? Yeah, that's the
Anyway,
one.
we have more numbers here.
Sure.
Not enough.
They'll, can't. No.
Definitely not enough.
Not a conversation we could have out loud, I guess. Yeah, but it's just like they'll die.
I mean, Spider doesn't care about that. That part's inconsequential.
That's not inconsequential. They're my people.
Oh, okay. Wow, Spider cares. Yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the sign-in log.
Probably won't be do it in this moment, but we'll probably start like telepathically alerting Alexandre about the situation, possibly the Lucon as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the hand signal that does go out is don't throw the first punch.
That is entirely reasonable.
That's wise. That one, good choice.
So, darling, what brings you out this way? For some reason, I thought you were further south.
Why would you think that?
Oh, I heard some rumor you were off chasing a rumor. But I didn't realize you were still in Cliff Spider. Fascinating coincidence. No, I genuinely thought you. For some reason, I'm going to have to speak to the people I buy my information from.
Who do you buy your information from?
All kinds of people. I can, if I'm not going to give up trade secrets for free. She kind of giggles and gestures towards Gail and Ray. My little black book is expensive, but there are copies available for the right price.
I see. You said you were here for a ritual? No.
Yeah, she's here for a religious observance in the morning.
Observance in the morning.
Yeah, she's going over to Saint's Rise, apparently.
Oh. What are you doing there?
Okay. I tell you what. Let me get a glass of wine. I'll get myself a table. Come and sit with me and we'll chat. I don't want to keep these two ladies away from whatever business they need to carry. Just let me get the paperwork all straightened out for the rooms, and I'll. What are you drinking?
Just water.
Just water. I can do that. I'm sure it'll fit me. I'm sure it'll fit on my bill.
Yes.
It's a shame all the rooms are full at this inn.
Okay, time to corral out.
Yeah. Just one second. I do want to try something. Check the die roll here very quickly. Oh, come on. now. Apologies. That is influences.
We've been listening to this beautiful tavern music just long enough for me to think, would somebody shut up that damn Kazuki player?
One bard who's like, I don't give a fuck.
3 and a 7. And then that's a 6 and an 8. So 7 and 8 is 15. That'd be a 21. Okay, that's fine. That's what I wanted to know. So there's going to be a bit of chatting back and forth. And you can see that there is. It takes a little bit longer than you might expect, actually. Is Alexandra going to hang around and wait for her, or is she going to go sit down somewhere?
She'll go find a table.
Okay. Are you going back to the VIP section with the other two, or are you
I'll head to the VIP? I'll head to the VIP section to like panic with the others, and then find another table. You know how it's how like you see someone you know, but you're like, I'm still with people, so I should probably go just check that everything is fine over there. Help, save me. And then go to a new table. That's me personally.
Is everything fine over here? No.
You doing good?
No.
So
there's a bulb trust going up and
so
I would probably before that, as I said, I'd telepathically alert Alexandre to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would I'd alert the Lucon as well.
Okay. So
make it clear that it's like not necessarily needing like direct action right now.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe call for backup.
Not maybe, just do it. I'd rather have two armies than one, you know?
Don't come in claws blazing, but
come in with them prepared to blaze. You know, dip them ready to go.
So Genevieve sachets casually over with a bottle of something obscenely expensive under one arm and a glass of water for you, and sits it down in front of you. Amazing. Oh well, I'm glad they were. I'm just not used to that sort of thing anymore. I should have called ahead. Oh well.
What?
Oh, apparently they're booked up. Some group of adventurers has taken the entire top floor or something, and there's just no room left. So I guess I'll be staying somewhere else. That's unfortunate, I suppose. But I'd heard this place was had quite comfy beds, but that's okay. So, what have you been up to?
Oh, we fought that demon you sent.
Oh yeah, he was complaining about that.
Really? That's unfortunate.
You can believe how
I would have complained too, because we could have died.
Well, yes, that was the point.
Yes, I would prefer you didn't do that.
Oh, I prefer I didn't have to do that either, but I made a perfectly reasonable offer to you, and you declined.
That's what you do when people decline?
I told you that was what was going to happen.
No, you didn't.
Word. Yes, I did.
No, I'm fairly sure I did not have time to consider the alternative.
Look, I'm sorry if you're not very good at dealing with people who are busy and have schedules to attend. I told you very clearly that it was a time-limited offer, and if you either wasted my time or didn't agree, then I was going to have to resort to alternative methods of getting what it is I needed to do. What did you think I meant? Plant roses?
That works for me sometimes.
I suppose it would, yes. I understand your family state's quite nice.
Have you been?
No, I haven't had cause yet. She smiles. Pours yourself some wine.
So, what are you actually doing at this observance? Like, what's your
I understand that you are a little bit sensitive to some things, so I'll give you the option. Would you like the executive summary to which a noble woman of your caliber would be accustomed, or would you like the messy details?
I need the messy details. I need to get used to that, I think.
We're going to be consecrating a new altar, which means I'm going to be slitting the throat of somebody.
Me?
I mean, if you want to volunteer, but I think it'd be terrible waste of your talents.
It would be.
Well, we've got a volunteer. That's all taken care of.
Who? Who
I have no
volunteers for
idea. I'll
that?
meet them tomorrow morning. I understand, Alexandra, you're very, very new to many, many things, but certainly you must understand the effect that persuasion has on people. Your little friend there is very, very good at persuading people. And so you can tell some people exactly what they want to hear and show them exactly what they want to see, and they'll agree to essentially anything, really.
I see. Who did you... So you don't know who it is that...
No, I'm literally here to officiate.
So you're not even... So you're just doing it, not aware of the details.
I don't need to be. That's literally what organizations are for. When you get to be the sort of person I am, Alexandre, which is the reason I was willing to teach you, you have certain things that you can just snap your fingers and have taken care of.
Everything except the slitting of people's throats. Apparently you need to do that with your own hands.
Well, yes, because otherwise the spell doesn't work properly.
What are you consecrating?
Has a sip of her wine. I must be off my game this evening. Oh, sure, I said it was an altar. It's a new temple altar. Yes.
But which one? I've seen them.
Oh yes, no. She chuckles. 1 second. Michelle has to double check a name because where did it go? Oh, here. Oh, PDF. Boop. There we are. Yes. Okay. I don't have it. Okay. She's going to give the proper name for the Archfiend of Slaughter. I don't have his name written down. I thought I had his name written down, but I didn't have the abbreviation.
Ch5.
Yes. Yeah. It's just yeah.
Oh. I would have thought there was already an altar here.
No. Some people can be extremely unnecessarily conservative about some religious freedoms.
But they've changed their minds.
After a fashion, yes.
You've changed their minds.
Well, I'd be a very poor negotiator if I couldn't.
That's fair. So, how did you end up here where I was having dinner?
That's just recommendations. I know various people in various places. Again, when you're doing the kind of things I do, you get around. And you have people you trust to make, and let's be honest, this place has a delightful reputation for personal security, particularly for people like you and I, who may have unusual security requirements.
I suppose that's one way of putting it.
It is, isn't it? So tell me, darling, when are you staying around here? Or are you going to be off on some grand adventure again soon?
If you call it a grand adventure, sure.
Well, I should hope it'll be a grand adventure if you're wasting your time with it. I mean, your time's precious. You don't have forever.
No, I don't. Well, there's a lot going on in the city, so
Oh yes, yes. I heard something foolish about a revolution, and apparently they're blaming the empire for part of it or something. I got some exceedingly odd looks at myself. My entourage arrived.
I'm not surprised. Will you be staying in the city long?
Probably 3 days. She says, has a sip of the
Just
wine.
3 days.
But right by now, by the way, you've gotten the message that that the crowd over at the fireplace are all demons, and there's more waiting outside.
Oh, she knows. She knows. This is a de-escalation mission now.
By the way, Scramble and Oat have assumed defensive positions with matchsticks and book covers peeking out of your hair.
Good for them. Do you know Cedric Edgewater?
Oh, isn't he that petty tyrant? Yeah, I'm aware of him.
Oh, he arrived recently too. I was just wondering if he was going to consecrate an altar, just heading downtown to consecrate an altar. Why not?
I haven't checked on his personal schedule. I could care less. People like him are largely irrelevant to people like me. They don't have anything I need.
Wow. I should feel flattered, but I feel insulted.
Really? Why would you be insulted? That because you're relevant, or because your relevance is based on my needs?
Yes.
You don't understand how the world works at all. Nobody remembers anybody who's not relevant because they don't do something for them. Some people are just more honest about it than others. All of your friends, your so-called friends, are just with you because you're doing something for them that's advantageous. That's the way the world works. Ask my soul if he'd be hanging around with you if there was any other reason. He's here because it's advantageous. We all know that. Same thing with the little toy that's toddling along behind you. If you weren't advantageous to him, he wouldn't be here. That's just the way the world is.
You say that like I don't know it.
I don't have to. You think it yourself every night before you go to sleep. You're just offended because I'm honest enough to say it out loud, and you come from a place where things like that shouldn't be said out loud because the truth hurts.
No, I'm offended because you suggested that my family are not significant, and they are. You offended my family directly. You didn't just offend me. I don't care. You offended my family, and that's different.
There are moments I can see that you've got the ability to absolutely shape the world, and then there are times you prattle on like a toddler, and I'm not sure, and it confuses me endlessly.
There are times I think that you could have been a good person, and then there are times that I realize why you're not.
Yes, because when you actually understand how the world works, good is the word that people use to justify the things that they do to everybody else. I'm just honest.
No, I'm just honest. You're a bitch.
See, that's being honest.
You're just mean because you don't know how to do things any other way, which is lazy.
That's very cute of you. You seem offended. Why are you offended?
I told you why I was offended.
Because I told you the truth about the way the two traveling companions viewed you.
Oh no, because you insulted my family.
Your family. Just going to pause for a moment, like you're not making any sense to me whatsoever. Do you mean, okay, are you speaking your literal family, like your mother back in the... You realize that your mother, greatest aspiration for you was to get you married off to someone advantageous within the Confederacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are literally an accident of reality that your mother and father were planning on taking advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you offended on their behalf? They have nothing I want. Why should I worry about them any more than... She gestures over to somebody having a drink. Them.
Because I am a rose from the Lanogiianes bush. And so anything that I am comes from them. They are as significant as me.
Except
because
they're not.
I come from them. Without them, I would not be here.
Oh, yes, I completely agree with you. Your mother happened to be at the right place at the right time with your father. I totally agree with you. But it doesn't change the fact that you're here and they're not. You're the one with magic. If they had magic, if they were half of your brilliance, your power, I'd have heard their names long before I heard of you. And I'd probably been talking to one of them 5 years ago. But,
your mother killed your grandmother, right?
Yes.
Did you kill your mother?
We had this conversation before, no.
Is your mother proud of you?
I have no idea.
Have you ever asked?
Well, I haven't seen her in a decade.
Maybe you should.
That would make for an exceedingly uncomfortable set of circumstances. Sloppy summoning ritual, shredded by a demon. You know how it is.
Yeah, I do know how it is. It's quite painful.
I try and avoid those things.
So, that you cannot understand why I'm offended. Just understand that I am.
Oh, I do understand that. It's written all over your face and the way you're playing with your water glass. But I'm just puzzled because, as I say, you seem to have this notion every once in a while that you're here to save the world, and then every once in a while you seem to think that means that you seem to be constrained by irrelevant details, things that'll stop you from saving the world.
There's not... I'm sorry, could you say that again?
You're here apparently to save the world, or so you've mentioned, or so I've heard people talking about you. And every once in a while, you show the woman you're going to have to be to do that. And then you start prattling on about things like family and demonstrate the fact that you're actually incapable of making the decisions that you'll have to make.
No. When I have to make the decision, I'll make a decision.
I hope you're right for your sake.
Once the decision's made, the decision's made. There's only so much I can do.
Oh, I agree. It's like jumping off a cliff. Most people have a lot of thoughts up to the moment where the last foot goes over the edge, though.
Mm-hmm. Do you not?
She chuckles. One of the advantages of being who I am is I've jumped off of a lot of cliffs. I've gotten used to some things. It's very rare I need to give any thought to any of them. The ones that are kind of interesting, actually. But none of them have to do about whether or not. She smiles. You are refreshing to chat with, I must say.
Thank you.
So, you didn't answer my question. Any grand adventures coming up?
Yes.
When are you going to be leaving the city?
I don't know.
Oh, I suppose it'd be awfully awkward for you to be strolling at any of the gates these days without a diplomatic pass of some kind, wouldn't it?
I can only imagine so.
Well, I'm sure your little friend there, she gestures in Spotter's direction, knows probably how to find out where I'll wind up staying, once I'm going to have to look around and find a place. If it turns out you do need a diplomatic pass on short notice, do let me know. I don't mind giving you a hand every once in a while.
As long as it is relevant and interesting to you.
Well, yes. Why else would anyone do something?
Why indeed?
Ta-ta. I guess I'm off looking for some place to spend the night. Good
Good
luck.
luck. Sleep well.
You too. And with that, she'll stroll off. She's just a general, not even a pantomime of snapping a finger, and the Oni, the demons, just turn away from the fire, drop hands on swords, and follow her out. And you hear a shrill whinny of a fairly powerful sounding horse outside, and the
Sound like a car. Demon doesn't know how horses sound.
Nope. And she will leave.
Alexandria will go back to the table.
And Gale and Rain were she missed rolling higher than their resolve by 1 point. Otherwise, she'd have gotten a room. She literally said, "No, you're going to give me a room," and they said, "We're good." No, we're not.
Myself? I need you to contact my grandmère and make sure she hasn't agreed to have her throat slit.
I'll do that, yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's been a while. Been trying to remember when the last time would have been, and I'm not getting very far. It has been a while since I've seen someone be as confidently wrong as that lady is. It's kind of impressive to watch.
Strong and
I feel like, amusingly, she's the opposite of me, in a way. Very little, in the sense that I look like a child, but on the inside, I'm much older and more experienced, I guess. Whereas she, on the outside, appears to be older and more experienced, but in the inside, well, she seems to be just a child in a lot of her views. That sort of very childish view of, I think the world works this way, and therefore everyone else is wrong. And the inability to comprehend anything else. It's almost impressive. That kind of conviction. send that message to your grandmere.
Yeah.
You all right?
Me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, no, in a lot of ways, but yes, in other ways.
Seemed to me, from what I read of your conversation, she isn't actually here for us.
I want to know who it is that she plans on sacrificing, even if it's not my grandmother. I think that's important because I don't think they know why they're doing it, if they're even choosing to do it.
Yeah. Why is she sacrificing anyone?
To consecrate an altar for slaughter.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I love the way that Spider's completely nonplussed. Yeah, that tracks. Whatever. I
mean, that's if she. I don't know. I mean, it can't be a coincidence that everyone is here.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. It's a surprising convergence. I guess that's what happens when you stay put too long now.
We've only been here like 3 days.
It's been longer than that, hasn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks.
We did some time skipping.
Oh, we did time skips. That's right.
We also like went out to the Orcs and back again, which was like
that's true.
3 or 4 days.
I mean, we left. I would have thought that reset it, but no. Okay. I mean, I spent all of my childhood in one place. You would think that things would have happened there. Nothing.
You know, things were happening around you. We were just children. We just weren't important enough to notice the things going on around us at that age.
I mean, on this scale.
I mean, I would assume neither of you were at that point directly connected with incredibly powerful entities.
I mean, I probably was in some way, shape, or form.
That's fair, yes.
Yeah, I had the thing with the thing, but I didn't know about it, no.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So better to say that neither of you were aware of your connection to highly powerful concepts, let alone entities.
Yeah, that would probably be the closer one.
Yeah. Other people might not have been aware either. But now that they are, even if they don't fully understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope that they didn't try to get into my room because, you know, carnivorous plant. Feeding happens after I've eaten, so.
I mean, that would have to have. I feel like someone trying to break into your room triggers a lot of things before they even get to your room.
I mean, the long con, that'll do something.
Yeah.
And
Definitely
then
heard.
Spidey senses for Spider, maybe. Do you have Spidey senses?
And don't forget, someone has cast an alarm and an electrocution spell on your window.
Yeah. And then they get there and there's a venomous plant.
Yeah.
I'm not even in the room. They get in there and they're like, "Ah, shit." Okay, well, I guess in the next few days, a lot is going to happen, huh?
Certainly seems that way, yeah.
Wait, why was Cedric here? Why is your father here?
Yeah, I haven't worked that one out yet. That was next on the list.
Spider, I'm just statement of things that Spider would just know automatically. Your father's Spider's father's rough moral code amounts to: is it good for me? Is it good for my family prestige? Is it good for the Confederacy?
Yes.
Very much in that order.
Yes. Specifically in that order. For him to show up here with a VIP delegation, including military officials and what have you, means that whatever's going on in Cliff Spider right now is more important than anything that might be going on in the Capitol right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, your father would be dealing with that in the Capitol. That, in his own way, he's not too... he and Ch5 would probably be able to trade tips because he's very transactional in his worldview as well. In that, it's about power. It's about power. It's about prestige, and it either personally for the family or for the Confederacy. He firmly believes in the Confederate in the ideals of the Confederacy. By the way, he doesn't give it lip service, but he's also very much of the opinion that the only competent people he knows to run the place are his family, so he's going to ensure that they're always one of the leading families so that people like the Donahue don't keep crawling in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, none of that helps tell me why he's here, just that he believes that this is the best place for him to be.
Right.
But sounds like consecrating an altar might do it. If he thinks it's good for the Confederacy.
If he knows anything about that, well, that's why I said it's the next step.
I mean, if she's here in an official capacity.
Well, look, I mean, he's the head of the Treasury of the entire Confederacy. If he's here, it is official business, whether it was to begin with or not.
I mean, it might be. If it might have more to do with the full 60 than anything that Ch5 is doing.
That's it. And I think, unfortunately, someone has to have a word with him.
I was thinking of doing that, but I was reminded that I was maybe being a bit rash.
What are the full... Sorry. Brain just exploded with thoughts. It's somewhat like that, but louder. And a different sound altogether. But it's like that. The full 60, some of them defected and are doing what? They've joined the army?
Yeah.
They have essentially, yes. one of those little places where the Confederacy verges slightly towards fascism is very much in the style of the Roman Empire. Is one of the fast tracks to becoming a citizen. If you aren't a citizen, is serve in the military.
Yeah.
And the Confederacy, when the refugees first arrived, and were saying, "Hey, we've set up camp on your front door," and they said, "Well, that's fascinating, except we own the door too." There was the conversation that went back and forth, and the Full 60 declined as a collective group to become formally part of the Confederacy, which is part of the reason they're second-class citizens and get stuck in places like the birdhouse, right? The younger set, very recently, as in while you folks were out checking out the airship, basically decided, something, this isn't getting us anywhere. And so basically the gang that's Kazra's age, defect is the wrong term, but it's the word I keep, because my Cold War background that keeps coming forward, turned their back on their elders and said, yeah, we're signing up with the Confederacy. We want to be citizens. We're done being second class. There's a huge world here. We're never going back to where we came from. Why do we keep living in corners?
So it's all connected. Altar to slaughter?
Well, that may be
someone
its
with
own
purse
thing.
strings and a lot of people joining the army.
I mean, I don't know why you think it's all connected.
Because it's all happening now, and everyone is here for it. Someone with money to pay for everything that is going to happen. Someone saying, hey, let's have someone that's good for killing to bless everything that's happening.
Ch5 could simply be being opportunistic.
Yes. Oh, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. She just wants Slaughter to be happy. And when is Slaughter happy? When people are being slaughtered. When are people being slaughtered? When there's war. When is there a war? When you suddenly get a load of new flying
Right,
recruits.
I see. I thought you were suggesting that like Cedric and Ch5 were working together.
She doesn't seem to care.
That is the worst case
money.
scenario.
But her taking advantage of the situation, that would track. That seems like something she'd do.
Either way, the outcome is the same.
And Cedric's
a lot of dead people.
I can't imagine Cedric's given up on his desire for Chevalier.
Because that will make things even better. More slaughter.
More soldiers.
More land.
Something none of the players need to roll for, but is part of the world lore, is that each of the major polities, the Confederacy, the Deliverance, and the Empire, all have carved out a niche on the Sky Anvil plane as a result of the arrival of 3 disparate groups of the Full 60, the refugees, at about the same time. The only reason Sky Anvil Cliff Spider is here is because Full 60 were able to do, they essentially can hypoxia-proof passengers and run supply missions practically constantly, and they're happy that way. If you take a look at the Sky Anvil plane, it's basically the only place that someone doesn't already own.
Well, I mean,
from the
that's
perspective
not true.
From the perspective of the major polities, right? So if you want to expand and you don't want to start the next world war, because keep in mind they tried that, they kicked the snot out of each other for 50 odd years and got nowhere except broke, then the Sky Anvil plane is the only place left to expand. So Alexandre's surmising sounds tragically like typical Confederate thinking.
Order of the Confederacy.
Keep in mind that this place is under a state of martial law because there was an unsuccessful revolution that tried to bushwhack a major military unit and serve their heads on platters to the actual owners of the backyard. That sort of stuff doesn't go well in the Empire. In the Confederacy. It goes worse in the Empire, but it doesn't go well in the Confederacy. So there are a couple of headline reasons, if you will, that would explain why suddenly there's an awful lot. The spotlight is on Cliff Spider in terms of people like Cedric. I'm not saying he's not going to be opportunistic, because if it, again, is it good for me? Is it good for my family? Is it good for the Empire? Is it good for the Confederacy? Spider sticks his head up as a target of opportunity. You may presume that Cedric will not hesitate to take the opportunity to play croquet. But
intense. So.
And again, this is stuff because the game has run. The real world time of the game is pushing 2 and a bit years now. The in-game time is 2 months. This is all stuff that would still be fresh in all of your characters' minds, right? So, hence the meta recap.
So.
I suppose it'd be a bit of a feather in his cap, as it were, if the son of Lucas Edgewater Sr. was the one who opened up the Sky Anvil Plain to the Confederacy. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of thing you can leverage for prestige.
I'm going to bed.
I'm so tired. Go sleeping.
I'm so tired. And there's nothing I can do about any of it right now. And there is another one of me already doing something, so.
Another one of you?
I don't know how many impersonators I have now.
Right, yeah, that was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. It's still a whole thing.
As in, that's part of the reason the town is under martial law. They're looking for her.
Oh, yeah, it's been a long day.
That's why I'm tired. That's why I'm going to bed.
I think on that note, why don't we just take a break and we'll come back and it'll be tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Did you need me to roll for letting Elena know?
No, you're going to get basically the what I actually wanted to say was, no problem. You will be able to contact her, no role required, and you're going to get something. Hang on, I'll check my day timer. I can't remember penciling that in.
Yeah. but I assume there's also a not than subtle way of alerting her to the existence of Genevieve.
Yeah.
As a person and as a person within the city.
Fair enough.
Someone who wanders the city with demons, who has who potentially could find not just as it's like she might target you if she finds out about you.
Yep.
You would be a leverage point for Alexandre.
Mm-hmm.
So and probably also Lucon, contacting the Lucon again, being like, all right, so it's over, but that lady you might want to keep an eye on. I've mentioned her before. That's her. That's the one.
Before we do go to the break, though, I do want to ask Alexandre one question. What would be the worst possible thing for Ch5 to have just found out about Alexandre?
The worst thing that Ch5 could have found out about Alexandre? At all?
At all.
From her gosh, I'm gonna need a break to think about that. I don't know.
After the break.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay. She has silver tongued.
I see. Good fun. Okay, cool. Yep. I will find that mentally for you and give it to you. Okay. And we'll be back soon. Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You think don't be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends on your answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends on your answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric.
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
He's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh.
body.
Do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
So reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
We have returned.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you support? Wait, that sounds so negative. Well, minor key. Oh. I figured out what the thing was that Ch5 probably learned based on Silver Tongue and how I've seen you use it. Nothing Alexandria said was a lie.
Okay.
And it may well occur to Ch5, I don't know if it has already, Alexandria cannot lie. So if she says something specifically and makes Alexandria reply, Alexandria just will.
Yep. Cool. Very interesting.
So she knows her fatal flaw.
We have to
Her
leave.
fatal
We have to
flaw.
leave. We can't.
Being a bitch. So yeah.
I feel like that is something you would pick up about Alexandria in 5 minutes of talking.
It's definitely something anyone that is frequently duplicitous would learn in 5 minutes of talking to her. That she is just speaking the truth.
Yep, that's accurate. I'm into it.
Because there's nothing that Alexandria. Because while I was thinking about it, there's nothing Alexandria wouldn't tell someone. So I was like, so what is the worst possible thing someone could learn from her? Nothing that she wouldn't tell them. So it turned into, oh, the fact that she would tell them is actually probably pretty bad. Whether or not she knows that's the case, whether or not like that information is pretty.
Yes, because the problem with people like Ch5 you'll find is the quote by Aeneas Nin: "We do not see the world as it is; we see the world as we are." So yes, people like Ch5 presume that everyone is a lying, conniving, scheming monster because that's who they are.
Yes.
And so, oh, wait a minute, you're not one of me. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So what are you if you're not? If you don't do this thing that everyone does, what's that?
You're a mark.
Amusingly, that was Rayfield's revelation in Monster Hearts when I did a guest on that spot. He got a very different lesson out of that. His takeaway was very different.
Yeah, different takeaways. Same finding.
Same discovery, just different path from that point forward.
Yeah. Although I don't know now, I'm wondering whether or not that learning is accurate. But we'll move on from that. Let's go back to this game now.
Look, constant education.
All right.
To you, Michelle.
Yes. So next morning, breakfast.
Oh yeah. You weren't doing anything.
Well, unless there's a scene that you folks want to do before Alexandria's. Yep, I'm out. Good night. See ya.
No, there is something.
I mean, hers was more. I intend to sleep, not. I'm leaving. Peace. Like she didn't just leave, but she was like, "No, I'm gonna go to bed now."
I don't know if it will. Just to sort of interrupt Jamie, because I don't think this is a scene. When Mysel was warning Elena, he probably asked like, it was probably sort of like as if that to sort of like close up the conversation was like, actually, and would ask about if she has a rough idea in like broad terms what specific steps would be taken to protect someone like Cedric Edgewater from someone like Mysel.
Almost guaranteed he'll be wearing some kind of a magic item, and almost guaranteed he's going to have someone like you staring at him. Mechanically, if you will, he's wearing an alarm bell and has someone who's prepared to execute the defend action.
Cool.
And all of them in the entourage are probably the same thing. Because you can imagine the nightmare scenario that would occur if someone like Cedric Edgewater was subverted into, declaring war on the Deliverance, for example.
And when we've talked about like the certain of the more mind controlling boons we're not using, but like the lesser versions can still be, you can get a decent amount of mileage.
Yes.
You don't need to assume direct control to.
Right. I mean, you and your hallucinate ability could make Cedric be convinced he was just attacked by a bunch of assassins in Deliverance garb.
There's ways to sort of, you say the right word to the right person at the right time.
Right.
All right, that is good to know.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, we are maintaining the idea that never-ending charm, dominate, and a few things like that, no, they don't exist because is scary. And, it sucks as a player to have that ability used on you. So, for lack of a better way of putting it, if the players can't do it, I as a GM will tend not to let the NPCs do it. But it also makes an incredibly unstable world state where, if major heads of state can be literally possessed by someone who happens to be, influence level 7 and rolls well, there's a lot of hours in a day to roll dice, right? Yeah, so.
There are a lot of influence 7 people in the world. That's the.
Yeah, you only need 3 is the problem.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, it's actually something that the Open Legend book doesn't comment on, is there's no understanding or commentary about what, you can take a look at your level caps in terms of your attributes, but there's nothing that says, a la D&D, D&D, it's just understood that levels 1 to 3, you're an amateur adventurer, 4, 5, 6, you're actually a professional adventurer and people recognize you as an adventurer. And by the time you're up into 15, 17, you're, one of the most trusted individuals to the crown. And by 20, you're saving the world kind of thing. And dragons go, oh crap, it's him again. Or it's them again, right? There's no real scalar like that in Open Legend. So it's really hard to determine. You guys, gals, and everybody else are 5th. There's no real solid bookmark that says 80% of the adventuring population is below this mark on you. I'm making it up as I go along on those points. So I've got some rough ideas about power level, but is very open in Open Legend about what those levels mean. So yeah, you folks all hit level 5 in 2 months of concentrated terror. I mean, adventuring.
I did see. Was it just recently? Someone was just like a list of like character concepts, and one of them was like the reanimation of an ancient legendary warrior king who was this the thing of myth.
Yeah.
Except that the world power scales just changed over time.
Yeah.
So it's like, turns out that the ancient warrior of legend, who was with the mighty legendary sword, who was the most powerful being in all the world, is about equivalent to a third level adventurer with +1 long sword.
Yeah.
And someone in the comment was like, "Yeah, I used to slay dragons. They were like the size of cows. Why did you let them get so big? What were you doing?"
Have you lost your minds? What do you mean, goblin horde?
Oh, they don't have the population for that.
That's hysterical. That is absolutely hysterical. I love it. So yeah, carry on. Do some roleplay stuff.
Specifically asked for role playing. Why are you not role playing?
I saw that one. Well, yeah. I mean, if Alexandria does go to bed, Spider wants to ask Mysel something privately.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think just as soon as she's up the stairs, Spider just sort of looks over to Mysel and says, "It is not a good idea for you to do the mind thingy on my dad, right? Yeah, that's what you were trying to say."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can be a bit. Sometimes I act without thinking. Particularly if I'm motivated, I guess would be the word. And sometimes I don't take stock, and I used to have someone to remind me about that. So I guess talking to Alexandre's grandmere was useful.
Oh, good. I'm talking to you. Better or worse idea to actually sneak into my father's compound?
Me specifically, or the concept in general?
Well, me specifically, but I could take you along.
I mean, all I really wanted to do was have a chat. I mean,
yeah, that's definitely all I want to do.
Quite a pointed chat. Sort of maybe to get him to stop. Very least following you and Alexandre.
I guess my feeling is if we tell him that we don't have Chevalier anymore, that he might just bugger. Well, he won't bugger off, but he'll leave us alone, like you're saying, and just deal with the whole, raising an army and possibly slaughtering the entire Anvil Plains. Not something I'm on board with, I should point out, but something I don't feel like we can deal with until Alexandre's gotten to that bloody volcano.
Huh. It hadn't occurred to me to just tell him.
Well, that's my current rumination.
All of his people have been looking for you, essentially. Now, we know from before that he was only interested really in Chevalier, but you were the one they were looking for.
Because I can lead him to Chevalier.
My one concern is if you or we go there physically and actually are in the lion's den, as it were. I mean, it's the walking out.
So I have an idea about that one. I think it might work. But you're kind of more experienced with the whole like manipulating the fabric of reality than I am. So
what do you think I do?
I'm magic.
Right.
Magic, my soul.
Right. Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
So I've been playing around with the music and how it interacts with my relation to reality.
Uh-huh.
I know you told me, and I've been practicing sort of moving without moving a short distance.
Oh.
I think I might be able to do it further.
Teleport. Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Not actually.
I just don't like that word. It's very magic-y, you know.
Oh, right. Your time manipulation is much more comfortable.
I just like to call it moving.
Yes, moving fast enough that reality doesn't notice.
There you go. That works for me.
Sure. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. It does actually occur. Just walking in, there's a solid chance, I guess, that particularly if he's not actually that interested in either of us, that we do just leave.
That's plan A, is that he doesn't care enough and we just walk out again. Plan B is we go in, things get a little hairy, and we move fast out. Plan C's messy.
I think we can have a few more plans before they get messy, but sure.
I'll leave that in your capable hands, and me and Hio will handle whatever plan that is.
Hio has to help. It's gotten real messy.
Okay, so that's the plan after the first messy plan.
Yeah, all right. Do you want to go now or?
I mean, night is better, and well, I feel like before this altar gets consecrated might be wise.
Yeah, that is worrying. All right, let's go.
Are we going in my way or are we going in your way?
I think your way is less likely to cause alarm. I don't even know if we need to be sneaky about this to begin with.
But I like being sneaky myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
I see what you're saying though, but
it doesn't seem like the kind of person you want to surprise.
Doesn't it though?
I'm sure it's fun. Don't get me wrong. But if the idea is to walk in, get him off our back, walk out again.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Jumping up and saying boo. I don't want to find out what his startled reaction is. I feel like he's more of a fight than flight kind of person.
You know what? The scary thing about my father, of all the things, is not him in a fight.
No, it's the people he hires to be in a fight.
Well, that's why, like, if you get close beforehand, it's...
I'm working on the assumption that he'll have people close to him at all times. Like, he's not going to be really alone. That's why my method is probably out.
Right.
At very least, I don't think he's going to expect it. Just knock you on the door.
It's true. I just really don't want to have to deal with them chaining us up and then having to. I mean, it's not hard to deal with. Don't get me wrong. It's just like a pain.
Why would they chain you up?
I mean, the people at the door aren't gonna know that we're there just to have a chat. They're gonna go, "Oh, they're the wanted fugitives that our boss wants."
Yeah. We could claim that I was turning you in, but I don't know if that's going to be...
I'm not sure that avoids the chains, and then you might not get in the room. I mean, we could go to see them as Switch and someone. I mean, they
just
sort
like
of
we're overthinking this.
Yeah, I get that. That's actually fair. I feel like we might be overthinking it too. I'm good at that.
We could just be like, hey, apparently, just at you as you, like, I hear you're looking for us. Let's have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
Because from everything I know about your dad, much as it rubs me the wrong way, his indifference might be our best asset. As soon as he knows we can't help him, he's not going to waste his time, as it were.
Just so we're on the same page, I'm not opposed to the messy plan. I've been planning messy plans for my father for a long time. I understand that it is not a prudent plan, but I may need some help avoiding getting to that stage. And that's why I didn't think about visiting him alone. This is what we call character growth.
I mean, I wanted to have a chat with him partly because I was concerned of what I might do if he persisted, but as I say, he pushes a very specific button for me, and it'd be nicer if he stopped.
Yep.
But my experience, people in general always misjudge how quickly you have to jump to the messiness.
Yep. Patience is a virtue.
It's just not necessary usually. People just forget or aren't in a position to think it through.
Yeah, I mean...
Or it's more, they just want the expedience.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, people want the messy bit. And this is one of those situations where I'm having to temper that particular urge.
Yeah. That's not worthwhile either. If you want my personal perspective on that.
There's a long-standing adage about, like, vengeance never being as satisfying as you intend it to be. I just haven't had that experience. Vengeance for me has been very satisfying.
Mysel gets up to sort of get ready to sort of like leave, and he's just like, I've been... One of the things I discovered living as long as I have is that, well, our minds aren't designed to store that much information. So I have forgotten a lot of things. I couldn't tell you where I was born in a specific location. I just don't remember. And I could probably, if I thought really hard, usually I can find that information again. I sort of describe it as going through a lot of unlabeled boxes. But there are certain things that I have never forgotten. And one of those were the times that I took vengeance when I didn't need to. Or shouldn't have, and I didn't think it through. It's been close to 1,500 years that I've been around. And some of those memories, they've never faded. The regret does not go away. Even if in the moment it felt right. In many ways, that makes it worse. Just food for thought.
I think I can hold myself together. Not for an expedient conversation.
It'll be good to have one less thing to worry about.
One less thing to worry about.
I assume Spider knows where he is.
Yeah, that was last episode we worked out. It's pretty obvious that where Cedric's staying because that's where all the Confederate guards are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, it'd be by default, it's the governor's it's the governor's residence, right?
Okay.
That's. And then the fact that, yes, there's, an extra army parked around the governor's residence is a strong hint.
Yeah, that tracks. All right. I guess we're going for a stroll.
All right, then. So exactly how are you getting in?
We're just walking up and saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're the people you were looking for."
I understand.
Because I don't look like the person that they're looking for. But if I say I am.
Does he have a specific honorific, or is it just Sanjua?
Who?
Cedric.
Yes, he does, and I don't have it right now. But Sanjuo is essentially generic minor noble.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. If it was like
most of the people in Confederacy, that's as close as they're ever going to get to nobility. So it means something a lot, but within the framework of.
But there are like other titles that go up above.
Yes.
That. Right. That's
right. The literal he is literally High Chancellor or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume it's very respectful. It's like we understand that proper title Cedric Edgewater.
Yeah.
Is looking for information.
Let's just use the English of it as it were, High Chancellor.
High Chancellor Edgewater wants information that we have. So we'd like to have a chat.
And the 7 guards look at you, and the skeptic light starts flashing over all of their heads. Excellent. What's your name?
Ludovic Machar.
Yeah. And he looks.
That might be the first time Spider's heard that.
Yeah. I don't know. Would it have any resonance beyond just being a name?
How are you in weapons collection?
An interested party?
Like, you may have heard of something called a mature blade or a mature weapon.
Okay.
In that, particularly as like a thing to steal.
Yeah.
But
or
it's
smuggle.
like, or like it's like this highly valued, like historical artifacts that are often in museums or highly wealthy collections.
Yeah. So there's definitely a moment of like, huh, okay. I'm just trying to decide on what Spider's answer to the other question was.
If they are being a bit difficult, Mysol might use like as we're saying, like while the major versions aren't really there, the minor version of Charm, just to sort of tweak their what is it? It shifts their like.
Yeah. I mean, we can see how their response
attitude
is
to like a step
to what he says first.
I was going to say, like, if they continue to be sort of difficult and it's like, oh god, we just need to.
Yeah. The better way of putting it is that, city of downtrodden, disenfranchised, located on a small hill. Wanted posters go up saying, looking for information, this much money for that guy. Parade of everyone who doesn't have money showing up claiming to have information.
Yeah.
Hello, customer number 277. Yes. What is it? You know?
Same when we were with the orcs. It's like, yeah, right. You're the people. Sure.
I think Spider just says, Jasper Kinkley. I'm the one on the poster.
The best way of explaining is there's going to be this beat 2-3 moment. All of the guards look at each other. All of the guards look at you, and the hands go onto the sword hilts.
Yeah, he just like holds up his hands. He's like, I just want to clear up the situation because honestly, I didn't do anything.
I guess the question is, are you going to let them put you in a jail cell or not? Because that's where you're going.
Listen, I understand your first response might be, oh, let's throw him in the jail cell. But it would be much better if you just went and talked to the Chancellor and let him know I'm here. Because...
Oh, we intend to. Once you're in a jail cell, then we don't have to worry about you. You
really
are free to go, he says, pointing at Mysol. You're free to go. You are going into a box where we're sure that none of your shenanigans are going to cause us any problems. We've been warned about you.
That's the problem, is you can't really put me in a box where you can avoid any of my shenanigans, so it's really kind of just a waste of time.
He's not wrong. Like, we can hand over weapons or something if that makes you feel better. Like, I've seen what he can do. You're not going to lock him up.
I will sit and wait in a waiting room. Where you can have as many guards in the room as you like. I'm not here to
cause... The room's right over there. Let's go to the stockade.
All right. I told you. Like, looks
Sure. So yeah, you will. Is Mysol going along as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are going to be led past a row of cells with all kinds of people who are looking in remarkably bad condition, and you're going to be led to another cell, and you will be put inside. The door will be closed. There's going to be a very loud zzz sound of magic. You are effectively now subjected to a disadvantage 5 on any attribute roll. Mm-hmm. The entire weight of no, this doesn't work has just descended on you. It's a mage cage.
I'm not even worried about it.
Yep, and you will be there until morning, which is when Cedric will come talk to you.
Is this both of us, or is it just?
Yeah, it's both of you.
Yeah, I think after like 10 minutes of just sitting there, Spider turns to my son and is like, "Can we do it my way now?"
I mean, if you're happy to get out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go and pick the lock the old-fashioned way. I mean, it doesn't.
Disadvantage 5 on the skill roll, on the attribute roll. It's literally you are your brain. It's
-5.
It feels like it's not fatigue, as in the bane. It is the mental state of exhaustion. Everything is just taking a lot of time to do, to think, to express. It's like you're mentally in molasses.
I will attempt to bolster.
Sure.
Trying to work out.
Yep. So the bolster roll, you are at disadvantage 5 to use it.
So with disadvantage 5, you roll 5 extra dice and take the lowest 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to do 2 more. Yeah. Okay. I still got a 16.
All right.
Which
that will give you power level 3.
Yeah. So an additional advantage 1.
Okay. So that will reduce your disadvantage to 4.
Okay.
But by the way, felt like lifting Everest on your shoulders is the. Yes.
Well, the first two were a 10, an 8, and a 9, so we got to do worse than that. On the next 3, we got We got a 5, a 6, and a 9, which means it's a 5 and a 6, and an 11, which is a 22.
A 22. All right. The CR was 20 done to pop that lock. It is probably one of the more irritating locks you've had to put up with. Actually, it's a not Confederate standard. It is a custom piece of work. It's remarkably well done, and given the fact that your face feels like it's being squished from all sides simultaneously, was a little hard.
It's a bit like it'd be much easier if it wasn't 5 locks that I'm looking at. It's just, oh man. All right, let's get this done. Okay.
So yeah, you are actually able to get it unlocked.
I want to see whether the bolster.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I was just rolling 1 extra dice to see if the bolster would have canned us, but it didn't in this particular case.
Gotcha. So yeah, so you are in a situation where it's late in the evening. You're locked in the no you can't leave box. The guards have all left because you're locked in the you can't leave box, and you got the door open.
As soon as when we went in,
as soon as you get out of the box, by the way, there is a palpable sense of I don't want to go back in there.
Yeah.
When we went in, was there like a guard station directly outside, or?
So there's so what it is you have an area that there are 3 of these mage cages, okay, and then there's a door that leads out, and you will wind up walking by a guard post after you go by these cells that have all of the other prisoners in it.
Is there anybody in the other 2 mage cages?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. That would have been a good distraction. Do you want to do your invisible thing?
I was just to try to decide if it'd be better to make us just look like guards, or to just conceal. Actually, interestingly, did we want to use the new boon they've put in, which is I've noticed is on hero muster as well?
Concealment, yes.
Concealment. Yeah. Looks like it works. It's like It's Phantasm in reverse.
Okay.
Adding things for sensors to pick up, you're removing things the sensors can pick up.
Right.
But at 5 and 6, it's still the same as invisibility.
Yeah.
But we might use that one just because it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually like that much better than the invisibility ability. So, in a high fantasy world, I think the classic ring of invisibility has its place. But as I'm sneaking, not everyone should be wearing a ghost suit.
Yeah. All right. So we got the power level we needed. So essentially, I guess what's that? 3 sensory elements plus a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
So essentially, we've got advantage 5 to staying hidden, but also we cannot be detected at all by, let's say, sight, sound, or magical detection.
If that's one of the sensors,
choices.
that one. Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say
Good
touch,
choices.
but like that's better.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're going to wrap it there, and we will open next session with you actually having to roll 2 of those because you will pass through a couple of magical detection screens, essentially.
Cool.
All right. It is unlikely they'll catch you with that, but they are awfully powerful. You're literally talking about wards that are designed to protect people like Cedric.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what the dice have to say.
I always like hearing what the dice have to say. And then I say to them, no, naughty
How
dad.
dare you?
How dare you?
What did you see? No, you didn't. Meanwhile, Alexandra's sleeping so well.
Yes.
If you don't come back, she'll be like, yeah.
It just got if we just did the wait until morning one, it was like, Alexandra's gonna be mad.
Alexandra wouldn't be mad. She wouldn't be anything. She would just be like, so what shall we do today? I'm not going to ask you, Thornfang. You don't get a vote. What are we going to do today?
We're going to desiccate everybody.
Okay, but only because the others aren't here.
Goodness gracious.
Oh boy.
So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. That was fun.
That was a good one.
I was wondering if you were going to wind up in the mage cage or not. You rolled very well. Congratulations.
I did roll pretty well. I rolled well above average on that one.
Yeah,
Yay.
and that's
You had to.
I was just going to say that. I mean, the whole point is, like I say, you're stepping into that fringe space where people like you are incredibly dangerous to the next group of people above your level, in terms of. So they've got to have ways of dealing with you. Otherwise, people like Cedric wouldn't exist. They'd have all been murdered by now. And it's just there's this sort of anarchist cap beyond which no one would accept a job, because every time someone, oh yes, you could be president, except you'll be murdered in 11.5 minutes after your first proclamation.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there aren't many people like me.
And like I said, I think that's the hard part about every fantasy game is calibrating what do those numbers mean. I'm of the opinion, fifth level, sixth level, you folks are absolutely notable in your power scale. There are still bigger fish in the pond, but yeah, you're absolutely notable.
I mean, you were saying like, yeah, you got there in 2 months of adventuring, but it was 2 months of adventuring with like a potential deity like backing us. So there's a scale there that
We're scaling.
Yeah. Turns out the sentient deific song that gives us magical powers has something to say about everything.
As if it didn't, there'd be problems.
The literal, music of the world.
The music of the world had something to say about this. And this is how you've managed to become so strong in such a short period of time, which makes me go, how the hell does everyone else do it? That's magic. That's true magic to me. There are others and they don't have like sentient music. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of
music that has like definitely like proximity to Alexandre has affected at least 2 people.
Just 2? Must work harder.
Well, absolutely, Lucas. Lucas. That was their excuse. That was that player's excuse, was just had been essentially been around Alexandria enough, was now starting to learn or hear the song, and that was why suddenly they could manifest their sword as an energy blade, right? They got that was part of Lucas's thing, was they had attribute substitution.
That's exactly what I've got as well.
Yeah. So
Alexandria is a walking battery.
Corrupting influence on the universe around her. Yes, absolutely.
Whoa.
No, that part's me. Can't blame that on that.
It's all the world. So it's kind of like radiation. Everyone's got there's a background level of radiation that doesn't really affect anyone just in general. You're an active rod. It just turns out that in this world, the world's background radiation is music.
This is correct and appropriate.
And it's interacting with other magic and just gets weird.
Let's stop there before my secrets get revealed.
Alrighty, so that's it for tonight. We will see you in a week, and we will begin, like I say, with a couple of weighty die rolls to determine exactly how the meeting with Cedric Edgewater goes.
I need more D10s.
I have a lot of D10s, and I still had to find some and then re-roll them.
Go buy dice. Go buy dice. Everyone.
I have more. I just have to get them
rocks.
out.
Go get math rocks.
Dice for everyone. Okay. Bye.
Good night, all. Bye-bye.